Welcome back, everyone. I just want to share something. A lot of my followers and my mentees have been asking me, how do you want to become wealthy through the financial market? How do you become wealthy as an investor in the financial market? It's a very pertinent question, and a lot of persons have been asking me this question. But today, I want to take my time to explain the or reveal the secret on how you can become wealthy in the financial market. Now, one of those avenues that you become wealthy, there are, of course, I'm going to list out a deep series of avenues, but first and foremost, the best way to become wealthy in the financial market is to reset your mindset. Yes, you need to work on your mindset, and your mindset will need to focus on making more money, more money, and not become emotional with your investment or with your cash, because cash is king. But when your cash, the money that you have, is not uh, working and bringing you revenue, then you may be stuck along the line. So that is first in your mindset of a wealthy person. How do you become wealthy? And that is why I'm showing you this particular screen that you can see here. This is Forge Global. This is where the rich, the wealthy men come to converge. This is a private investment platform, very private. And you know that before a stock come into the public space for the common man or the average man or the retail investors to be able to buy those stocks, the private investors must have done their own part. An example of that, for those of you who are in Africa, who are in Nigeria, you heard Otedola recently, talking to the media when he revealed that he has asked Aliko Dangote, the richest black man on earth, the richest African, to to preserve or to allocate 100 billion, I think $100 million worth of his refinery shares, that he's going to buy it. He's not making that public pronouncement because he's going to buy it as a retail investor. No, he's going to buy it as a private investor. And that's why I'm showing you this platform. This platform, Ford Global, give you access to buy global stocks in the private market. Of course, the price is just like what happened a few weeks ago when the SpaceX came into the public domain for people to buy. Over here, I've already listed it 3 months before the IPO for my private investors to start buying. And the moment they bought, once they list the IPO, you see all the private investors making their money. So that is why I'm showing you this. So the way you make money from the financial market, they varies. First, your mindset. You need to begin to think as a wealthy person. You begin to think like a rich man, and you begin to flow in the rich man cycle. You can't be in the cycle of mediocres and be thinking that you want to become a wealthy person or a billionaire or a millionaire. You need to change the cycle, the behavior, the character. And that is why all my followers and my investors, my mentees, I bring them into this platform where they understand where the whole secret is being made. This is one of it. And now, I haven't thought of how to make money in the financial market. You need to have cash. If you have savings in the bank, you don't need to leave it there. You put all your money into an active, investment that grows. Because there are different type of stocks. There are growing stocks. There are already made stocks, that is the blue chips or the magnificent seven that has already grown. But we focus on the either the mid cap or the small cap stocks, because they have room to run. They have a lot of room to run. You understand that? And how do you know the small cap? Small cap are just like $2 billion, $10 billion market cap, $5 billion market cap. As long as they are below 20 billion market cap, they are all small cap stocks. And there are also some that are just like $700 million market cap, 900 million market cap, building to hit $1 billion market cap and so forth and so forth. That is why you need all this. And then the industry that you focus on matters a lot. The industry. Now, if we are talking about data centers, you need to think power generation, you need to think health, you need to think finance, you need to think real estate, you need to think, a lot of industries. These are industries that that people must always, you also need to think apply materials, these are even defense. These are areas that you must think to be able to invest your money and to bring you revenue. And now I always use this fear and greed index to analyze and visualize the behavior of investors at a particular time. And as you can see right now, the investors are fearful because probably there's a pullback in the financial market, there's a pullback in stock, and so most of the investors are scared a little bit, and so many of them are sold out. And when they sell, the stock price will always pull back. There's always a drop down, and when there is a drop down, according to our father in investing platform, which is Warren Buffett, he will always tell you that when people are fearful, that is when the value investors step into the market, because as at that time you could buy shares, valuable companies, well-structured company, you could buy them at a very cheaper rate. You understand me? But when everybody is excited, of course the demand, the supply has already gone up. A lot of persons are buying at a very premium price, and so you could buy a useless company at premium when there is greed in the market, especially when it's extreme greed. But so at this moment we are seeing a lot of pullback. You can see the chart. There's a lot of pullback at this moment, and it shows that opportunity to enter the market and be able to buy valuable companies. And that is why for me, I always come here to check the most active companies, the most traded, the most valued, best performing, the same oversold or overbought. I always come here to check most of all these companies to know which one that I'm buying. And don't forget as well, whichever stock that you want to buy, you need to check the chart. Yes, the chart will always tell you when there is a breakout, when there is a breakout of structure or change in character, when stocks are actually obeying the psychological levels. And so I always put down this to be able to guide me through on when to enter. This is Tesla. I've done this analysis, and so I know when to enter Tesla. Once it enters my zone, I'll be able to buy, because I don't just chase, I wait for the market to meet me. If you chase, you may be emotionally buying most of all this stuff. So there must be a target, there must be a structure that you are using. That is why for those who are following us, we always make our best to make sure you get the best. And so for you want to make money in the financial market. How do you go about it? What is the first thing you need to do? First, you need a mentor. A mentor will always tell you how it is, when to enter and when to pull out. And so there are markets, because a lot of persons have asked me, just like people trade on forex or crypto, when there is a pullback, when there is selling, they are buying, they are making money. When there is long buy or short sell, they are also making money. There are platforms that can give you that access, and one of those platforms is Robinhood. You also have Momo, you also have Webull. These are platforms that can give you that access to be able to do that. So for instance, if I want to check any of these stocks that I want to do that, I could go ahead and say, okay, I have Meta. Maybe I will say Meta. Yes, that's Meta platform. I can use that to see Meta. Yes, this is Meta platform. I can be able to check on this Meta platform, because if you are trading, you should be able to know when to enter, when to step out of the market. So I'll come here to trade Meta. You can see the options. Option will be able to give me that access. So in retrospect, for you to make money in the financial market or become wealthy, your mindset, you must have cash, because you can't make money if you don't have any investment. But you can also do the same thing that I do, giving the services and all that. So currently, uh, uh, Meta is trading at 584.88 cents, and you can see buy and sell. So it means you can make money in selling and you can make money in buying. So if, for instance, in a day, because you must choose the expiring days and all that when you are trading options, for instance, at this price, I say, okay, if I predict that Meta is going to be $590 within the space of 3 days. So in the space of 3 days, I'm going to be making some upside. I'm going to be making some profit. And so, options is accumulated as 100 units of stock in one purchase. And so if you are buying that, this is the calculation, the asking price. This will be multiplied by 100. That is what you are going to be paying down. So if on that expiring date, the price that you predicted, you are able to achieve that, you are making that amount. So let me just try and show you how it is. If for me, I can also choose the date. I can choose a date. Most times I always elongate it to expand it so that I will be able to, my investment will be able to have the time to run. However, before I do this, before I come here, I must have come to my chart to analyze and know where the stock is coming down from. Do you understand that? If this is Meta, yes, this is Meta, and then for me, Meta was $788 in September 22nd of September 2025. So approximately less than 1 year, Facebook has come down all the way from 788 down to where? Down to 582. So I have over $200 in between. So you can still visualize it again and say, okay, if Facebook came down from this particular point, meaning that there has been a lot of breakout, breakout structure and all that, and then so I can come back here and say, okay, if I pick it from here, my target is particularly by 743, and that 743, if from here it was in January 2026 that Facebook was 743, and now this is July, and Facebook is trading around what price? 522. So it took Facebook over 6 months to be able to pull back. So how many months will it take Facebook again to be able to get this upside? Possibly it could be 1 year, possibly it could be 3 months or 4 months or thereabout. So what I will do in my option, I will come back here and say, okay, I want to elongate my investment. I can decide to say, okay, that I will elongate it. I can just say in January. Let me just say I may just decide, because I know that every January there's always an upside in the financial market. So I can say January 15th of January. Let me see how I'm going to use that to predict where Facebook is going to be, and then I'll be able to take my stand. And so from this point, I can say Facebook will hit 700. We hit 700 January. So let me say it will hit 750. You can also go further. You can go further depending on how you analyze Facebook to go. You can go further. In fact, go further depending on how you believe that Facebook is going to go. Don't forget that Facebook has experienced a lot of pullback right now. A lot of pullback. So if I decide that Facebook is going to hit $1,000 in the next 6 months, yes, $1,000 per unit in the next 6 months, and so if I come back here and say I'm picking it from here, if I say I'm picking it from here, and so from that 100 units of it, this is what is going to show me, meaning the volatility will be around 48%. I could make 48% or lose the money I'm going to bet. So let's say I am doing this. Let's say I'm doing this. So the estimated cost that I'm putting down is $298.54, which is $2.89 times 100 units of Facebook, which is one contract of option. So you can see that the estimated regulatory fee is just 4 cents, and then the contract fee is just 50 cents. Altogether, everything that I'm putting down is $298.54. And so you can see the mathematics. If at the end of the day I'm able to break this point that I choose Facebook to be, I'll be making $1,182.98. If by this date that I choose, Facebook actually beat this my target, this my prediction, and on that day it expires, this is what I'm going to be. I'm going to be making over $1,180. You understand? With my $298 investment. That is how you play options. There are some persons who will come here with their money. They can say, okay, you want to buy 5 contracts. Maybe you want to buy 5 contracts. You can say you want to buy 5 contracts. So you are paying down how much? Approximately $1,500. And so at the end of the day, if Facebook beat this target, you're going to be making a whole lot of money. So these are how you use your options to be able to make wealth in the financial market. Having said all this, there is always a need for you to be patient and make sure that you do your technical analysis. Before your technical analysis, always do your what? Your fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis will tell you how structured the company is, if the company is a profitable company, if the product that they are offering is one thing that strikes, the curiosity or the hunger of, the public domain to come and patronize you and all that. These are one of the things that you check. You check the financials, you check the PE ratio, you also check the mid cap. You check the capex, that is the capital investment, and then also the debt. If they are owing debt or they are having any crisis in the company, these are things that you needed to exhaust before you decide to hit the button for purchase. You don't just buy because someone has just told you and all that. And me, I always love checking the market cap of any company before I buy them. So having exhausted all these ones, you now come back to your coach and say, okay, this is what I want to buy. Your coach will always guide you through. You need a mentor that will guide you through on how to go about this investment, because someone has passed this same path that you want to cross. Do you understand that? That is why in my platform, I take my time to analyze the stock before I buy it for my investors. Even though you buy a share today and tomorrow you begin to experience pullback, relax. If we have done our due diligence, be patient. The price action is not always the determinant of the structure or how well the company is. The health of a company can always check that, both in the institutional investors, both in the insiders investors, and many other factors. These are the things that you must always know. So once again, if this video is so valuable to you, don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm pleading with you, just subscribe to the YouTube channel and hit the notification bell, because it helps my video to rank in the algorithm of Facebook, of YouTube, and it helps to reach a lot of people, to get their investment in the right perspective. See you in the next video.